Hey guys, Daniel here, and today I'm doing another review. As you guys know, I did my comic book collection overview. Well, I was going to try and do some individual videos for those, and I thought it was best to start on the one I'm reading at the moment, which I'm really enjoying, one of my Essentials, my Avengers Volume 1 Essential. So yeah, now having seen the movie, maybe I want to get back into my old comic collection again and start reading them, in depth. So I thought, well, I started this one. It was like the first of the Essentials in order. I guess it might have been an alphabetical thing, but I thought, yeah, the first volume, got to start with this one, and it shows how the Avengers were formed in the first story. I will say, stories, and they're done by Stan Lee, of course, Jack Kirby, and Don Heck. For me, the three best Marvel men, in my opinion. Of course, Stan Lee is nice, well known, kind of classed as the Don of Marvel. Jack Kirby for me is the greatest artist at Marvel, but they've all had some fantastic artists. And Don Heck as well, for me, is a very similar artist to Jack Kirby. I'm a fan of his work too. So yeah, it shows how the Avengers were formed. And all these stories are in black and white. I'm guessing it's because of a money thing, because it's such a thick book. And there's loads of these Essentials. That's why I did it in black and white, to save some money. But I don't mind, because I think it gives it more of a vintage feel in a way. Although the originals would have been in colour, I quite like that. Although it kind of puts the ink in, the artist's ink in to waste. But, I love these stories. I'm about halfway through the book now, and I've just read a story where the Avengers take on, most of the stories in the end, they sort of tell you what's going to happen next in the next story, a little bit about it. And of course you can tell from the front cover, because these include the front covers, of course. And one of the things was the Avengers meet Spider-Man, so I thought, oh yeah, look forward to reading that one. So when I read it last night, the Spider-Man story, it turns out that the Avengers, I don't want to give any spoilers in case you're reading, but it wasn't really the Spider-Man. But you guys might have already read that story anyway. And reading this, it's really made me think about the Avengers lineup, in the film. Of course, Iron Man, Thor, Captain America are all in it, and Hulk. Hulk has appeared in a few of the beginning stories, but he kind of disappeared now. To be honest, the Hulk in this, he's kind of come across more as a villain so far. And these two here, we have Giant / Ant-Man and the Wasp. And I personally quite like to see them in the movie. Maybe in the sequel they'll appear. I'm not sure they will. There's a rumour going around that Giant Man might be getting his own movie. There's a poll up on Facebook. Who would you rather have a movie, Doctor Strange or Ant-Man? And although I both like those heroes, and I both said I'd love to see both of them get a movie, I voted for Ant-Man Giant Man because I'm enjoying him in this. He seems like a really sort of friendly character, and although he can get so huge, I think he's actually more effective as Ant-Man when he gets smaller. A lot of these stories contain this villain here, called Zemo, and he has sort of two main villains at his disposal, called the Enchantress and the Executioner. And of course, the Executioner and the Enchantress came from Asgard with Thor. And they come up in this a lot, and they're getting a bit annoying now, because I like to see a bit of a variety. And I want to see the Hulk come back. I'm sure he will at some point make an appearance again, because I know, of course, he was part of the Avengers. But honestly, I cannot recommend these Essentials enough. A lot of these Essentials you can find in second-hand places like boot sales and whatnot. But they're quite expensive to buy new. They're about, I think, like 15, 20 quid, because they're so big. But they're definitely worth it, because personally for me, I'm more of a fan of the older classic Stan Lee, Jack Kirby stuff, from the 60s and 70s. I still like the modern stuff, but not as much as the classics. And although some of the dialogue is very cheesy, but that's what I love, cheesiness, because you notice when you read these how obvious the dialogue was. Say if Hulk ran off somewhere, like Iron Man might go, "Oh look, the Hulk's run off. He's running away." Things like that. But I can't say obvious. But I guess because a lot of these are aimed at children, and I guess that's why they did it. But of course, a lot of the 60s and 70s stuff was cheesy anyway. So definitely check these out. I mean, they're great books. And this collects. This collects Avengers issues 1 to 24. So you get a lot in here, and the issues themselves are quite small. The stories are quite small, only a few pages, but definitely check it out. Also, I will say a lot of these stories are linked to other issues, not just Avengers issues, but Iron Man, Hulk issues and whatnot, Tales of Suspense, Tales to Astonish, things like that. And it kind of gives you, like, if you see like a sort of hash star symbol, like a star symbol next to a bit of dialogue, and you look down, you'll see another star symbol, and it's like a note from Stanley or the editor saying, see this issue, see that, to, it's like a reference. Definitely check this out. Obviously, the Avengers, the movie's come out, everyone's loving it. I don't think anyone hates it, to be honest. And I've noticed in a few shops, most of the graphic novels at the moment are Avengers for obvious reasons. Definitely check it out. Great book, great series of books. You can get Hulk ones, Captain America ones, as you've seen in my collection, which I'm going to read them at some point. And also the Marvel horror series, which I'll probably do a video on at some point, like Dracula, Man-Wolf, Werewolf, Frankenstein, the Swamp Thing. I think there's one called the Swamp Thing or something like that. But definitely check these out. Great books, and hope you enjoyed. Bye.